Hey, what's up, Castless? LNF07 back at you with IDT action. This time it's G Strong 100 with the white pieces and Tibbs 0111 with the black pieces. This game took place over a span of 30 days, and G Strong 100 needed a win to keep pace with Juanita Man and stave off a surging YDTD, aka the Boogeyman, aka the Killer Whale, aka the Man in the Black Hat. So let's see what happened here. We get pawn to e4 from G Strong 100, then e5 from Tibbs, knight f3, and pawn to d6. We have the Philidor defense on the board. G Strong 100 continues with bishop to c4. Tibbs pins that f3 knight with his bishop, and G chases the bishop away with pawn to h3. G then castles kingside. Tibbs then continues his development with knight to f6. G defends his unguarded pawn with d3. d4 actually would have been the stronger move with two attackers on that e5 pawn. But that's neither here nor there. Let's continue. Tibbs then plays pawn to h6, which prevents the knight to g5 move. And then the players continue to, with their development, they continue to develop their pieces. And I see Tibbs has still not castled. King safety is priority. And it's still movement, and then you get a bishop takes h3, and I guess that's why he did not castle. And the reason is Tibbs is looking to sack that bishop so he can obliterate G's kingside defense and bring in the queen and possibly an extra piece, maybe this knight right here, for a quick mate. So G does take back. Tibbs takes the pawn with his queen, and then you get knight to h2 like so. Tibbs brings in the knight, excellent move. The queen can't mate by herself, she needs help. And after the trading of knights, you can see G's king right here on g1. His king is naked, exposed, and very vulnerable. The queen is gawking at all of the king's manly parts right now, and but the eval bar over to the left says that's fool's gold, and it has, and it the reason being is it needs help. Yeah, the king's exposed, but the cavalry is still far away. You got the knight here over here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, on c6. You got the bishop over here in California, and you got the king stuck in between these two knights. You'd rather have the not the knights, the rooks. You'd rather have these rooks connected. So G Strong 100's king is in check, so he has to move it. Moves it to h2. Tibbs then plays bishop to g5. G Strong 100 counters with rook to g1, attacking the queen. The engine would have preferred queen to d1 so they could trade off queens. But back to the action. Queen h1 check. That move is forced. Tibbs then takes the bishop on e3, and G takes back with his queen. Now, this isn't looking good for Tibbs. His sack of the bishop is not paying dividends, and G Strong is defending nicely with a chance to counter with an offense of his own. Tibbs checks the king, forcing a trade of queens. And this is looking great for G Strong 100. He has a nice open h-file, and Tibbs has still not castled, so his king is in the middle of the back row, stuck in between the two rooks. I'm not liking Tibbs' position right now. Let's see what he does. G moves his knight to d5. Tibbs finally castles queenside, so he solves that problem. Rook to h1. G wants to trade rooks. Excellent move. When you're up in material, you definitely want to trade off material. Tibbs plays rook to h4. Good move. Looking to possibly double up his rooks on the h-file. And also, if G does capture with his rook, he can undouble his pawns and straighten out his pawn structure. So that's a good plan from Tibbs. I like that. He's thinking. However, G swings his knight to e3, revealing the bishop's attack on f7. Rook f4 defends the pawn. Tibbs blocks the defending rook with knight to f5. G attacks the pawn, so back to e3 that knight goes. And eventually, G Strong gets his rook to h7, puts it on the 7th rank, which then restricts Tibbs' king. He's stuck on that 8th rank. It's like he's in 8th rank prison. Tibbs pushes a pawn, but after the exchange, he'll be down 2 points. Tibbs pushes another pawn, and G picks up another pawn on the f7 square after the exchange. So with a +3 lead, the game was basically over after that. They played the game out, but the moves were basically perfunctory. G eventually gets 2 connecting passed pawns, which are almost impossible to stop. Right here, connects those 2 connecting passed pawns. And G Strong 100 eventually checkmates Tibbs on the 56th move of the game. That was G Strong 100's 10th win of the tournament, and a clutch win because that enables him to keep pace with Juanita and stave off a surging YDTD, like I stated before. So great win for G Strong, and that's going to do it for this video. Once again, I'm ElliotF07 saying stay tuned, and I'll see you soon.